I don't know what was happening here, but it was quite enjoyable. It's a Toy Night Show with Sammy G. It's Sammy G. Thank you. Welcome back to the Toy Night Show. I am your host, Sammy G. And we have some street fighting on this episode with none other than E.Honda from Jada Toys Street Fighter 2. Yes. And also, I visit the Toledo Toy Show, which is essentially the Marysville Toy Show North. And show you some of the great pickups there, a little bit more street fighting action, and we'll tell you about the great time that I had there. I'd also like to shout out my nephew Luke, who just had a birthday. Yes. I also, my mom and dad had a birthday. Yeah. A lot of birthdays this month, yeah. We can't forget Miles from the ToyNight Show had a birthday as well. Yeah. You know, many times I'll do pre-orders, I'll order things, and you know, sometimes you forget about it. Fans of the show will send me some things, and you kind of forget what's in the box. So tonight we're going to start a new segment called "What's in the Box." And here we have the box, and we're going to crack this open and see what's in the box. Remember, kids, don't run with scissors. And looks like this is from Finders Keepers on Whatnot. So let's see what is inside. Ooh. You're a fan of the show, or you know me. You know I love a good food toy. So we got a couple of these guys. I have two of the changeables, the McNuggets changeable. Sorry for the crinkling. And the shake. So we got two more changeables to add to the food army. And we got them in robot form. And we'll have him here in dino form. There we go. Oh, I forgot his tail. Forget his tail there. And two more additions to the food army. And as you can see behind me, we have changed the shelves just a little bit. We're doing a little bit of rearranging here on the Toy Night Show. And according to some of the packages, these will be filled up pretty quickly. So let's continue with what's in the box. And I apologize for the noises. Ooh. Next we have another Happy Meal toy. Suspense. Sorry for all the crinkling. But it looks like we have Grimace. This will pop off, and that'll show Grimace there. And he's got his little ghost outfit. So another Happy Meal toy to go on the shelf. This is cool and all, but I think I'm going to hold off for the NECA McDonald's toys, because those are going to be pretty sweet. And if you haven't seen those, you can Google it and see what is happening there with NECA and the McDonald's toys. So hopefully those will be coming out soon. We'll just set him off to the side. Ooh. And we're going to finish with a banger. Okay. Oh, this one is sweet. I have to say this brings back a lot of memories. So if you are a fan of the channel or know me, you understand that I love a good wind-up toy. And as a kid, I had a lot of wind-up toys. And these were near and dear to my heart. One, because I was a big video game fan. I played a lot of this video game on the 5200. I never see this one very often. And here we have the Pac-Man Ghost. And let's see if he works. And we're hoping. There he goes. He is working. Oh, that is so cool. That is so cool. So the cool thing about him is that the eyes move when he's moving around, and this is just awesome. I mean, obviously, it looks like he has a little bit of jaundice there in his eyes, but that is super cool. And I had the Ghosts as a kid. I had the Pac-Man wind-ups as a kid. Matter of fact, here is the Pac-Man, and I always tell the story of how, I guess, disgruntled I was because I had to give my wind-ups to my cousins, and these guys never got replaced for me. So yeah, yes, it's a good thing to share your toys, kids, but it does sting a little bit, especially when you like your toys a lot. But here we are many years later, and I finally have the Ghost back into my collection. So that's going to do it for this segment of What's in the Box. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Our next guest is a certified heavyweight legend who puts the boom in kabuki. He's a grandmaster sumo wrestler who took one look at the traditional ring and says, nah, I'm going to take this global. He weighs in at over 300 pounds of pure, unadulterated muscle, and he's famous for launching himself across the room like a human torpedo, which is generally how I like to get out of bed in the morning. From Jada Toys and Street Fighter 2, please welcome to the ToyNight Show, E.Honda. Hey, thanks for coming out to the show, Mr. Honda. Should I call you E? I also have to ask, so, one of my favorite games is Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, and are you related to Piston Honda? We've all seen your iconic torpedo. You're launching your 300-pound body across the screen. What does that feel like the next morning? Is it a 2 ibuprofen kind of pain, or is it a trip to the chiropractor? So you are famous for your 100-hand slap, but I have to ask, has your mom ever taken your own hands and beat you with them? Asking for a friend. What's going on with you and the Battletoad over there? Are you guys playing footsie? We'll be right back with E.Honda. And here we have E.Honda and just another masterpiece from Jada Toys. They just do a marvelous job of their figure sculpts. The artwork on them are just very true to the source material. The biggest thing that I have a problem with at this time is being able to get him to stand up on his own because of his weight. I'm sorry, like, I'm not trying to be offensive, but you are heavy. He's a heavy guy. But overall, just a very fantastic figure. It's got all the great articulation, the ab crunch, the butterfly shoulders that it gives them, and allows them to do all those excellent poses, which we will have here on screen. Hopefully, hopefully my cameraman's working very well or working overtime here. But yeah, just it is very hard to get him to stand. So we're going to work on that in the background. But other than that, just the overall, yeah, overall very good. We're just going to have him. Why don't you just have a seat there, and you'll be able to check out some poses here from him in just a second. But he does come with extra hands that allows him to pose just nicely, right and to left there. He also has the iconic 100 hand slap that you can put on him and allow him to pose that as well. So another iconic looking accessory, and he has his face. So when he's fighting or when he's being very passionate about something, he has his face there. The skirt, or whatever you call it, I'm not very familiar with what you call this here, but it is a very soft plastic, allowing you to get poses out of him. And we're just going to attempt to pose him here on screen, because overall, definitely a pickup. It is going to be somewhat of a challenge to get him to pose. And there we have E.Honda. So we'll be right back with the Toledo, Ohio Toy Show. Holy Toledo, Sammy G here for the ToyNight Show here at the Toledo Toy Show. It's first time here. We're going to see what is happening on the inside. Not really sure what we're going to find, but I heard there's going to be a deal of a lifetime. So we're going to see if we make it out of this thing alive. We'll see you here in a few. Thank you. Welcome back. And recently, I just attended the Toledo, Ohio Toy Show. I believe that's the name of the show, but it's the Marysville Toy Show North. So if you're a fan of die-cast vehicles, you're going to see a lot of those there, and we did. If you're a fan of some very fantastic vintage toys, you're going to find those there as well. And boy, did I find some things that I was able to scratch off my list. One of the great things about shows in general is meeting some of the great people. I do have a question for you. Yeah. Can you tell me how to get Sesame Street? No. I was able to see Billy from Refresh Toys, which is great to see him. I hadn't visited his store in quite a while. Best of luck to Billy. He does a great job with Lego in Bowling Green, Ohio. His information will be in the video description. I just really love his passion for his shop and for what he does with Lego. Was also able to see Copper Age Gold. Copper Age, he was there at the show. We were able to say hi to him. My buddy Rob was there, so that was fun. And I was able to see a lot of different vintage toys. And one of the things I was able to pick up was this Scarlet figure.
That's a straight on? Yeah. Just the paint that just blows off in the wind.
She's glorious. Scarlet has been on my list, and this was a nice addition to the collection. Comes with a file card, comes with her accessories. Very good paint apps still remain on this figure, and she is the straight arm version, so a very solid pickup. I was happy to grab her when I was able to. And the vendor, I wish I remember the gentleman's name, because he was just super nice and just an awesome person to do business with, and that was fantastic. One of the great things there as well is we were able to see Gem City Retro, and Gem City Retro had some really great things for me. He had some Battle Beast weapons that I had wanted to complete some of my Battle Beasts, so I was happy to pick those up. I did find a few other things while I was at the toy show. I was able to secure some Hot Wheels crack-up vehicles, which the crack-ups are really cool. if you're a fan of Mattel toys in general, the crack ups were Hot Wheels that when you hit them at a certain part on the vehicle, they would show damage just like they would in a crash. So if you're familiar with He-Man, you understand and have seen the battle armor He-Man and Skeletor, where when you hit the chest, they show damage as well. So Mattel had that toy mechanic working back in the early 80s. If they really scratched that nostalgic itch for myself, as we're running along the show, I have been hunting for Street Fighter G.I. Joe for quite a while. And oh my gosh, take a look at this. Man, when I saw these, I could not believe what was in front of me. The vendor told me what he was looking to get for them, but he was willing to make a deal. So as we walked around the toy show, I was contemplating making that deal, and no, I didn't grab them right there, then and there at that second. I decided to walk around. So that's when we went to Gem City's booth, and Frank's bought out the table. And as we're ready to buy out the table, I was ready to go back and pick up those Joes because I knew I had to make an offer on them. And wouldn't you know, we had to load up everything as to ensure that none of those figures that Frank's bought out uh, were picked through, because there was a lot of people ready to buy from those tables that were sitting there. And so 35 minutes later, after we're done loading up everything, getting everything in the vehicle, and securing the deal, I decided to head back to pick up those G.I. Joe Street Fighter figures. And I'd love to tell you that things worked out for Sammy G. Unfortunately, this day, they did not. They were gone. And that's a lesson to be learned here, folks, is when you see something at a toy show, don't walk away from it. If it's something that you really truly are hunting for, something that you want, and you feel like you can make the deal happen. So I walked away from the Toledo Toy Show feeling very disappointed. Well, actually, I walked away from that vendor very, very disappointed. I was happy for the person that picked them up, as the vendor told me that it was someone that he does business with quite often, and he gave him a really good deal. So he got everything for $250. And if you understand this line, you understand that is a very great deal for all those figures, for the vehicles. Um, yeah, so um, I really left very sad because I could not believe that I missed out on those figures. So throughout the day, I continued to think about those figures, and my gosh, I wonder what happened to those figures. And about 6 o'clock in the evening, as I'm coming home from my nephew's graduation, I get a text message from Frank's and says, I think I know who got those Street Fighter figures. And lo and behold, as I look on my cousin's Facebook page, on his giant table of pickups, were all the Street Fighters that I should have picked up. So, yeah. So, my cousin caught me slipping, and yeah, that is one of those stories for the ages. It's just funny how that adds up. So I call my cousin. I tell him about the story. I tell him about how I saw something that I truly wanted. I walked away. The vendor told me to make an offer. I should have made the offer. I walk away, come back, and they're gone. And I ended up telling him that I saw what I wanted to pick up on his table, and we had a good laugh. And I was going to ask him what his price was on those things, but as we were talking, he tells me how happy he was when he saw those, and he walked up to the table because he knows the guy, and he was talking about he was putting them up in his garage on his shelf. So very happy for my cousin that he was able to secure those. So I'm glad they are in a good place, in a good home, but it does sting a little bit. But if you happen to have some Street Fighter GI Joe figures, I'm your guy because I am looking for them, and we'll add those to the shelf at some point. But very funny story, and it really stinks for me. So so tell me what you think. Have you had an experience at a toy show where you've walked away from something that you shouldn't have? I'm sure there's a lot of stories out there like that. Let me know down in the comments some of those stories that you've had. Shout out to my cousin, Retro Realm Collectibles, for getting that great deal. But let me know down in the comments. Have you left something on the table that you shouldn't have and gone back and it's gone? I'd love to hear some of those stories down there in the comments. That's going to do it for us here at the Toy Night Show. I'd like to thank my guest, E.Honda from Jada Toys and Street Fighter. Boy, I'm still thinking about those Street Fighter GI Joes. My name is Sammy G. We'll see you on the next one.